very, very grateful, and in a couple of weeks I've got some Open Cup matches coming up, so looking forward to getting involved with a couple of other teams. I absolutely love football, and that's why I love my job so much. I think it's a very exciting time to be a woman in sports and broadcasting in general, and I think that it's with thanks to the trailblazers that were here today, like Jackie Oatley, for example, the first woman to commentate on Match of the Day, and I think it just is slowly changing over time, and when you look at the female broadcasters around, it's still up and rising, and there still isn't that many, you know, in commentating positions and in various different things. So I think although it is changing, it's slowly changing, and we still do have a way to go, and it'll be great the day that the headline isn't woman broadcasting on this or woman commentating on that. I'm very grateful to those that have gone before me and really set the standard and pushing women into this industry. I think something that my dad has always said to me, you know, when applying for jobs or just in anything really, is cast your net wide and you might catch one. And that's something that's always stuck. You know, it's so difficult, especially coming out of college. I don't have any family here, I don't have any contacts here, so you really have to try and work to, you know, find somebody that might give you that first bit of experience. And I feel like I'm very lucky here to be able to keep progressing and moving on to new and exciting challenges, but also just being a go-getter and don't wait for opportunities to come to you is probably the biggest thing. And also enjoy what you do, because I couldn't think of anything better than being able to say that my job is to watch and commentate on football and to be around it every single day. So for me, it never feels like work. So it goes back to that old saying of find something that you love and you'll never work a day again in your life.
On top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
The attempted amazing goal. Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa.
And here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been Indy 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Oberg there. Plua, shot, goal! Plua!
It's the calm after the storm in Charleston, South Carolina. Hurricane Dorian rolled through the Low Country, and Mike Canhouse's side are back in action at MUSC Health Stadium a day later than originally scheduled to take on one of the best leagues, Indy 11, in Sunday Night Football. Hey everyone, we welcome you up to the broadcast booth. My name's Poppy Miller, alongside me Derek Broadley and Derek. The Battery now have had 7 games either postponed or rescheduled due to a various amount of things. It's been a crazy season.
Unbelievable, yeah. As crazy as the weather we've had here in Charleston this week.
And now a massive match awaits tonight in the 11 with a chance to move to the top of the Eastern Conference. They're firing on all cylinders, one of the most offensive teams in the Eastern Conference. But tonight, the one we want to watch is Dane Kelly, USL Championship all-time leading goal scorer.
Yeah, this is a man that the home team's really going to have to watch tonight. Look at him, he scores all types of goals. He's his record speaks for itself. He's played for multiple teams in the league, and as I said, every time he gets a half chance, he converts it into a goal. So definitely one to watch.
68 8 over his career, the most recent one being on Wednesday night against New York Red Bulls, who he certainly will be the one to watch for. For Mike Hanhouser's side, the player that we want to keep our eye on, it's the super sub Dante Marini.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a tag that he'll want to lose, super sub, and he'll want to start the game tonight and continue doing what he's doing. But he's been coming off the bench, scoring goals. He's an all-action type of player, isn't he? Left-footed, very technically gifted, and as I said, hopefully he'll continue his good season.
You're absolutely right. He will make his way into the starting 11 for tonight's match. Well, with the playoff race looming on the horizon, let's take a look at the standings coming into tonight's match. Like we mentioned, a win for Indy will propel them to the top of the table on points with Red Bulls 2, and for Mike Hanhouser's side, just outside the playoff picture, but with games in hand. Points in the bag is a necessity, though. Tonight it's a big one, and it's all coming up. Stay with us. Sunday Night Football just around the corner. We'll be back in a mo. Championship match. It's Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's game, wherever you are. 24 hours later than expected, but we are just about ready to go at MUSC Health Stadium. But first, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. Derek, for Martin Rennie's side, of course, the man we highlighted in the intro, Dane Kelly, starts up top. But who else stands out to you?
Well, Neville Hackshaw's coming against his old team, isn't he? And he's got the captain's armband tonight, so I'm sure it's a huge game for him and a huge honour there. But you know, from Newton in goal, I think, you know, all the way through their side, you see quality with Gibson in midfield, and as I said, Kelly up front's always going to cause problems, isn't he?
You're absolutely right. Neville Hackshaw returns to familiar stomping grounds. Over 80 appearances for Mike Hanhouser's side. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for the black and yellow.
Yeah, and they've gone to a traditional 4 at the back. It's almost like a 4-4-2. Higashi sponsors an up front. Marini wide and left, Piggott there. So, you know, they're going to be very compact, I think, with the results and the lack of games they've had. All they're going to be looking for is a good, solid performance tonight, and 4-4-2 seems to be the way to go.
Keep your eye on Candela and Angelo Kelly, the duo in the middle of the park. Sergei Jamanchuk is the man in the middle for tonight's match. Dane Kelly ready to get us underway. And a pretty picture-perfect night here at MUSC Health Stadium. Hurricane Dorian has been and gone. And two teams with very different scenarios in the playoff race are set to go here. Of course, for Indy 11, a win tonight will propel them to the top of the Eastern Conference, joint on points with New York Rebels too, but with 3 games in hand over them. And of course, for Mike Anhauser's side, sitting in 11th in the Eastern Conference, looking to join the playoff race, also with games in hand over all of those above them. Van Schaik into the 6'6" man up top, Ian Svanterson. And of course, one change we will note, Derek Brian Anunga out on yellow card accumulation, suspended for tonight's game. He will be a big miss in the middle of the park.
No, Candela's come back into that role, hasn't he? Now he's got, you know, big shoes to fill tonight. But him and Kelly, they both work very, very hard, and they've just got to get a little understanding together. They're not the biggest in terms of physical stature, but in heart and ability, yet they'll do everything they can to make sure they hold it up.
Marini into Svanterson. It's Candela. Thought he fancied the chance there. Plays it out wide. Kyle Nelson, the rookie, gets involved in the attack. Candela once again. Corner flag it is. Couldn't do enough to keep it in.
I think one person that we have to mention tonight is Des Riley. He's the groundsman here. He's got this. Considering the weather he's had to contend with all week, you know, the field is absolutely magnificent. It's probably better than I've seen it in a long, long while. And these players will be relishing playing on that tonight.
Leland Archer rolls one back to Kuzminski, who clears from the back. Svanterson trying the flick on, and he will take that in the middle of the park.
No, and as I said, I think with this 4-4-2 formation, Marini out on the left, Piggott out on the right. You know, they've got a big target man in Swanson up front. Higashi just got to get in amongst them as he get all the pieces, and then the 2 little guys in midfield, Kelly and Candela, they've just got to be nice and busy, nice and bright. They're good ball retention players. And then, you know, at the back you've got Archer and Mueller, 2 big characters, 2 big physical presences. So, as I said, the battery have got a good shape about them tonight. And as long as they work hard, they'll get their rewards if they're due them.
And of course, we mentioned in the intro, a tall task for the battery tonight. Indy 11 coming in as the most offensively sound team in the Eastern Conference. 11 clean sheets, on the season so far, and have conceded the least amount of goals in the entire USL Championship. But up comes a corner for Mike Anhauser's side in the early going. Dante Marini will trot across to take it. Of course, missing Zico Lewis and AJ Patterson, who are out on international duty playing with their respective countries, Bermuda and Grenada today. Dante Marini, looping ball to the top of the box. Pereira.
It was a particularly good corner by Marini when it was way too. I mean, the battery tonight are definitely outsized by Indy 11, and you know, it's going to be difficult for them to get anything. They're going to have to probably try and work some of these set pieces rather than just throw the box. Swanson's obviously a big guy, but other than him and Archer, they're definitely outnumbered in the height region.
And of course, they know the task they've got on their hands with Dane Kelly up top. Keep your eye on Macaulay King looping those balls over the back line. One new face for Indy 11 out here tonight. Pereira in the middle of the park. Came in and played in an in-season friendly against Detroit City FC. Trained with the team, impressed Martin Rennie, who said he's coming at an ideal time. Both of these teams with a heavy schedule coming up in the playoff run. He makes his first start out there tonight, and we'll see how he does with his new side. Van Schaik. King with the press, back to Leland Archer. Piggott. Hackshaw wins the aerial, falls back out for Kotaro Higashi. Jose. Too much, says the referee. Up comes another set piece for Mike Anhauser's side.
And I think, you know, it would be nice to see the battery being a little bit more inventive. Here's the foul here. You can see there that Higashi does really well, gets his body in front, and it's just a high kick there. I think he just comes down on his ankle. That's a sore one for the player, but you know, nothing really nasty in that. Van Schaik's got good delivery. As I said, you know, what they're going to have to do is it's going to have to be a really good ball winner. Although Swanson is a big guy and he towers above most people, you know, there isn't too much. Nelson's, to be fair, is a big size, so we'll be interested to see if they can get something from these set plays.
Leland Archer makes his way into the mix as well.
from the back line. Van Schaik with the delivery. Too much sauce on that occasion.
And that's two they've had that they've wasted. They've had a corner now and a free kick, and they haven't got anything from either. So maybe they need to be a little bit brighter around them, the battery.
We met Pereira roaming around the middle. Mitch Osmond.
You can see this Indy team are really keen to pass their way out, aren't they? They're very confident in possession. The first corner they gave away was they overplayed a little bit, but look, they're definitely looking to play tonight and pass the ball around.
Coming out in a three-man back line, which we've seen frequently from them this season. And no change for Neville Hackshaw, who was part of Mike Anhauser's three-man back line during his time at the Battery. Evan Newton, the man in goal, 8 clean sheets on the season for the visitors. Archer back to Kuzminski.
That's a loose one again. The Battery overplaying there. Sometimes you just got to clear your lines. You've got to look at it and see where you are.
Kenny Walker leaves for Iose. It's Hackshaw, the Trinidad and Tobagan. One of the best outside backs in the USL Championship. Gibson out wide. We met looking for the return. Van Schaik outnumbered, takes one too many touches down this near side.
I think Indy played in the week, didn't they? So they're going to be a little bit fresher than the Battery. The Battery season's really been a stop-start, due to weather and accidents and all sorts of things. So, I'm sure they'll be looking forward to getting a good run of games, even though a lot of them are going to be away. They'll be interested to get, because sometimes as players, the more you play, the fresher you become.
These two teams have played the least amount of games in the Eastern Conference. Svantersson looking to run onto it. Mitch Osmond all the way back to Newton. Schaik with no pressure. Candela picks it up, room to roam. The pressure coming in late. And up comes another opportunity. And Derek, you said 2 opportunities in the early going. They maybe could have done better on. What do you want to see from this one?
No, just a little bit more inventiveness. And you see, who's that there? Candela's just got in front of his marker there, and he's been bundled over. This is this is shooting distance. This is certainly Van Schaik's distance here. It's definitely warrants a shot on goal. The goalie's got to deal with the sun in his eyes. And as I said, anything on target could be popping back out. I'm sure this will be a strike on goal from this distance.
Well, we know what Jared Van Schaik can do with that left foot. Kick off an earlier time than usual here in Charleston. Very warm and humid temperatures. The sun playing a factor as well. It's Van Schaik. Takes a deflection off the wall. Candela. Whips one across the box. Higash is there. Manages to pick it up, and he'll take the throw down this near side. And of course, important to mention, Derek, the Battery have lost 2 days training despite having that extra long week from their last game after the game was cancelled against Memphis 901 due to Hurricane Dorian.
Yeah, I'm sure they're good professionals. I'm sure they would have done something. They would have gone into the gym or something. But yeah, no, it's going to have an impact. And as I said, the good thing is they didn't have to travel. They were in the comfort of their own homes, and that always helps out. But right now, I think the Battery do need a run of games. They've had a stop-start season all the time. And as I said, I'm sure a lot of these players will be looking forward to get back in. And sometimes games take care of themselves. You don't have to do as much fitness. And, they're going to be doing some travelling. So their schedule's going to be pretty set as to what they're doing, rather than what they've had to deal with game on, game off, rain delays, weather delays, transport delays, the whole shebang. So, as I said, I'm sure a lot of these players are looking forward to getting some regular games under their belt.
An uncharacteristic goal kick out the back from Evan Newton, who won the 2018 Golden Glove. Only conceded 16 goals last season with FC Cincinnati. Had an unbelievable match against Red Bulls 2 earlier this week. Indy 11 taking the 1-0 win from them at home. Unbeaten at home in 22 games now. Struggled on the road though. Van Schaik, the strike is there. I tell you what, that wasn't too far off.
No, and he has got a great left foot, hasn't he? It's a great play there. It was Well done by Candela, spotted him open, he just got it, he drove in and he took a crack, and if that's on target, the goalkeeper's got his work cut out for him. It was just a little bit, it was rising a little bit, but very good effort. And, you know, if you're Mike Anhauser, you've got to be pretty pleased with the start your team's made, you know, that you're pinning the other team in, you know, you're working hard, you know, they're finding hard to break lines, but, you know, they are very dangerous on the break.
Van Schaik back in action at the other end of the pitch. Kelly for Nelson. Mario Pigott making his 16th start tonight. 2 goals, 3 assists on the season so far. Van Schaik, lofty ball into the attacks. Fonterson on the run, just at the edge of the box. Didn't do anything with it. Osmond for Hackshaw, dangerously worked out.
That's good play by Indy 11 there, isn't it? You know, they're under pressure and they still want to play. They haven't abandoned their philosophy. They want to play. They all look very competent on the ball, don't they? And they're very happy to play in tight situations, which is good to see.
We met. Canadian outside back. 1 goal on the season so far. Led Indy in almost every defensive stat last season. Been a big part of the back line this season so far as well. Pereira. And once again, Evan Newton out the back gives the Battery a chance to creep their way up the park.
And that's a reward for the Battery players, you know, in their endeavour to try and stop them from playing out the back. They've adopted a very high line, and they're forcing them to go long, which is they'll get their rewards.
Van Schaik back for Angelo Kelly. Space across the flank finds the feet of Nelson. The Wofford College product in his rookie season with the black and yellow.
I think what Pigott's saying there is, how can that be their throw? He goes, you know, I've won the ball. If I've won the ball, it could only have come off them.
Neville Hackshaw just having a word with Sergei Jamanchuk, the referee for tonight's match.
I think you saw that as possibly as a free kick. That's what Pigott was asking for. But he allowed play to go on and then end up in the throw.
Hackshaw on the far side, like we mentioned, a long 3-season spell at the Battery, over 2,800 minutes under his belt at this very stadium. A familiar surface for him, a surface which you already mentioned, Derek, looking very nice tonight.
No, I mean, if you want to play football, you aren't going to get a better surface than this. I mean, a couple of games this year, the Battery's been criticised for the field, you know, due to the weather conditions. I don't think people realise what the weather conditions they've had to deal with this year, but right now, this pitch is as good as any field in the league, I think.
We met. Takes it quickly to Osmond, Australian centre-back. Tyler Gibson just sitting in front of the back line, pulling the strings in the middle of the park. Gibson, one of the mainstays on this side, has played all but 6 minutes so far this season. Those 6 minutes he came off, was substituted off against Hartford Athletic in a blistering hot summer's day. A former Cincinnati product, and here's Dane Kelly in the box. It is Dane Kelly, and Joe Kuzminski rises to the occasion. The danger not over, a chip ball to the back post. The head is there, Kuzminski punches away, and Nelson to clear out the box.
I have to say, 2 great saves there by Kuzminski. Great run by Dane Kelly in behind. He broke the offside trap. I thought it was very tight. And then he delivers a great ball to the far post. But Kuzminski has 2 great saves. And what was good about him, he knew he couldn't catch them, so he got them out of danger. I'm sure we'll get a chance to see those again in a second.
Here's the newcomer, Pereira, with the second strike. We mentioned his first start tonight for Indy 11.
It just shows you how dangerous they are, haven't they? They've been absorbing pressure, then their first time they got to exploit the Battery back 4 and they do it with ease, really. It was, as I said, a great run by Kelly. Here it is here. Look, here's his run. Look, he runs in just behind Archer. That's a great save by Kuzminski, and he gets up, recovers. Look, if you keep watching, we didn't get a chance to see him, but if you keep watching him, he then makes a second save, which is really good play.
Kelly for Marini. Dante Marini, 4 goals on the season, 4 game-winning goals at that. Gets the start tonight. Van Schaik assessing his options. Tries to find Higashi, broken down by Gibson. Now here could be trouble. Starikov for Dane Kelly, and Leland Archer stops him in his tracks.
Yeah, Archer's a big, strong lad there, and he used his pace and his strength very, very well. They saw the run early, and he should have done because he just got beat a minute ago. So that was a real good piece of anticipation there by Archer. But you can just see how good Kelly is, isn't he? You know, he has them little intelligent runs in behind people, runs off the shoulder, breaks lines, and causes defences problems.
Be a fantastic matchup all night long. Leland Archer and Dane Kelly. See. Maybe he is the one to mark for him as well. Here's Dante Marini. Again, too much pressure from King.
Dante Marini sometimes gets fouls just because of he's small. I'm not saying that wasn't a foul there, but if you look at it when he comes out. Okay, here he goes. Look, he gets his body in front, and look, he falls very, very well.
Dante Marini, just 5'6", extremely agile. As is Kotaro Higashi in the middle. Svantesson. Hackshaw to the rescue, straight out the back. Dane Kelly, Taylor Mueller. Dane Kelly, actually the reason why Taylor Mueller is wearing that mask tonight. The last meeting between these two sides, the two collided, resulting in a broken nose for Taylor Mueller. I'm sure he'll be looking forward to cooler temperatures with his face mask on as we approach the cooler months.
Yeah, and I don't think we can really dismiss the fact that this game has been played about an hour and a half earlier, and the heat that the players are going to have to deal with. It's very hot out there. You can see the shadow on the field as well. So the goalies are having to deal with like the sun in their eyes as well. So it's definitely sort of 80 plus degrees for sure, 85 degrees. So it's very, very hot out there, and at pitch level, I'm sure that's near 88, 89, 90.
Saw them checking the bulb earlier to see if we would see a hydration break. Looks like it's just underneath the temperatures needed pitch side. Nonetheless, a very, very warm evening. Pereira, the visitors enjoying a nice spell of possession. Kept in by King. We met. Fan Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues around the world since 1947. Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Gibson.
I'm sure Indy 11 here really, really enjoy this surface. The way they are a passing team, they can knock this ball around really nice, and they'll be absolutely buzzing to play on this surface and move the ball around the way they're doing right now.
Starikov denied the ball into the box, and here's Svantesson. Takes a touch. It's Ian Svantesson. He's outnumbered and could not see a path through.
Touch just let him down there. Then he missed the first one, and then he was always up against it. I think he was one-on-one, and then his touch allowed 2 more defenders to come back into play there. But for a big guy, he's good with his feet. He's got a really good shot on him when he wants to.
Dante Marini. Looping ball over, just runs away from him. Romario Pigott fancies his chances a fraction too late. Down in the middle of the park, this could be trouble for Mike Canhauser's side. Looks like it's Romario Piggott just in some Kotaro Higashi, sorry, just in some discomfort down there with his shoulder, sorry.
Yeah, I think he ran into was it Stirikov and just caught. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he caught him there. I think he just ran into the back of him and just caught him. So I don't think it was meant. I think it was just two players coming together.
Like he's up and okay as of now. Nico Rittmeyer was the first to get loose down below. Nelson. Newton. Ground ball out the back to Gibson. Osmond. And a very versatile defender. It was actually Neville Hackshaw who went off against Louisville with a head injury. Osmond made his way to the outside back of the three. Play anywhere really across the back line and in the holding midfield.
And again, good pressure from the back there. There's Nelson pushing nicely. And that's the beauty when you go and play with a four at the back. Your fullbacks can really push high, whether it's going to be Van Schaik or Nelson. And if they want to try and play out from the back and you push your fullbacks high, and you're really condensing the game.
Starikov. Nothing to come to fruition. Kuzminski. And looking for the target up top, but can't connect. Ayoze. Haven't seen too much of Ayoze so far in this first half.
No, they've had a lot of possession, but it's been in and around their 18-yard box. You know, when they have ventured forward, you know, Kelly definitely looks a real threat.
Gibson onside. Back to King. King with the delivery towards the back post, runs all the way through. And Piggott at the far side. And Kelly straight through the back of Romario Piggott.
I'm sure Rennie will be very frustrated with that one because, you know, you've got a team, they're struggling to get out. You get them into a good position and your forward just gives them a get-out-of-jail card by giving away a really cheap free kick.
Martin Rennie, the Scotsman, in his second season with Indy 11. Previously has coached in the USL Championship with North Carolina FC and in MLS with Vancouver Whitecaps. Has a marketing background prior to that. And of course, on the other hand, head coach Mike Anhauser sat down below us, who celebrated his 25th anniversary at the club last season, over 200 career wins. And like we say every broadcast, Derek, just difficult to talk about the Charleston Battery without mentioning Mike Anhauser.
No, I mean, everything's been said, I think, about him and now, and, you know, I'm sure that, you know, this game doesn't mean anything in terms of, you know, what he's done in the past. He'll be wanting to get a win tonight, trying to work his team back into playoff contention. That gap now, I think, has gone to 4 points now, and he'll want to, you know, get that down to at least one if he can, and certainly won't want to make it any larger.
The Battery, the only team in the modern era to make the playoffs every season. They have been a franchise looking to do the same this year. Sarikov battling and takes the free kick. There's head coach Martin Rennie on your screen there down below. We met. A deflection off his own player there. Maybe a chance for Kotaro Higashi to break away, but not before Mitch Osmond gets to it. All the way home to the Virginia native, Evan Newton.
That's good play there, finding his midfield player from back there. And as I say, right now, Rennie will be very happy with how his team's trying to play. They've just got to get into the final third a bit more, because they've proved that when they do get there, they're very, very potent. And in the Battery, sometimes right now, they had a really good start. If you see, the line of confrontation has now shifted from their final third into their midfield third. They've got good shape about them, but they certainly do need to be a little bit more creative going forward.
Indy 11 surpassed last season's points. They had 49 on the season. They surpassed that on Wednesday night when they took all 3 points from Red Bulls 2 at home. We mentioned a lot on the line for them tonight, a win tonight, moving them to the top of the Eastern Conference. Jose brought down on the far side, and this could be danger for Mike Anhauser's side. Indy 11 potent on set pieces.
Just a stray arm. I think the referee's going to give a yellow card here. I'm not sure if he saw it again. I'm not sure it would warrant it. He reached for his pocket very, very early. He's going to let him explain himself, and then he's going to say, no, I'm going to give you a yellow card. You've got to keep your arms down. If we could lip read, I'm sure that's what he's saying.
Let's have another look at this, Derek.
So as I said, he knocks the ball past him. You just see, just catch him with a stray arm. Just trying to run round him, really, but the referee made up his mind straight away. You can see he pulled the card straight from his pocket. And Nelson's in the book.
All the players down below taking an opportunity for some hydration. 85 degrees here on Daniel Island. Dangerous mix in the middle there. Hackshaw has been brilliant at getting on the end of set pieces so far this season.
And all the Battery players will know about him. I mean, he scored some goals when he was here, when he was a very good player here. And he's a player that can play in any position. And you know, he was very unlucky not to win the Player of the Year, I think, in his final season. He done very, very well. I think it was only the fact that Anunga outplayed him at the time and probably scored a few more goals that prevented him from doing that.
Kenny Walker, the man over the dead ball. Some height in the box. Dane Kelly in the mix. Neville Hackshaw joins him. Good ball in, but away. Pumped up. Jared Van Schaik. Hackshaw now. Nelson gets the head on it first. Dane Kelly the first to greet it. Jose back to Kelly. Just dummied himself there on this near side. Just a touch out of bounds. And up comes Jared Van Schaik.
Both teams really with the set pieces have not really done themselves justice, have they? You know, that neither balls really from any of the set pieces has caused any problems at all to the opposition defence. So something that both teams will need to work on as this game develops.
Hackshaw this time looking for Storikov. Jose into Gibson. Araya for King, a young Harris College product, and a looping ball over. Nelson going for the second ball. Kyle Nelson on a yellow card already, just going to have to be careful with those.
He had to be very sure there, didn't he? And he was. I mean, he does it. I mean, he knew what he was trying to do there. But yeah, if he missed times another one now, he could cause his team a real problem.
Gibson looking to get a full season under his belt this year. Played the remaining 9 games of the end of the season for FC Cincinnati last year after suffering a broken leg in pre-season. Has been on playoff rosters for the last 3 seasons though, with FC Cincinnati, San Francisco Deltas, and prior to that with OKC. Someone who knows how to get results with the team he's with. We met. Hackshaw with time and space. Ground ball to the top. Macaulay King joins in the attack. Van Schaik stands in his way and just misses the connection.
Again, a little sloppy pass there, wasn't it? They're trying to get it forward too quickly. I think when the Battery regain possession, they've got to keep hold of it for a little bit and just see if they can settle down a little bit more. They've not, they're chasing, and in this heat, you don't want to be chasing it too much.
Around the back for the visitors. I've got to say, been in quite an even match so far with the chances created.
Yeah, there's a silly free kick from Archer. You know, Stirikov's not going really anywhere there. It's too far away from goal, and it's just a cheap free kick to give away. We'll see it now. Look, he just goes in. Look, he's not going anywhere. There's no need to go in and put your foot in there. Not in that position, and you know, gives the opposition now a chance just to get a good set piece in play.
Macaulay King. Looping ball to the back post. Iose is there at the top of the box. Battery forces out to Gibson, who recycles into the box, and Kuzminski forced to make the save nonetheless.
It was an easy one to take. As long as he kept his eye on the ball there, he was fine. But again, it all came from the silly free kick that Archer gave away, you know, a little bit further, almost on the halfway line. Another thing that we should make note of is the fact that, you know, this game has been pushed back 24 hours, and it definitely has an impact on players. They're used to playing on a Saturday night. I'm sure a lot of them were ready to play this week on a Saturday, and that extra day, change of kick-off time, it's a whole change to your, you know, your match day routine. And now they have a chance here. Now the first corner kick that Marini took, he overhit it. Let's see what he's got this time.
Would usually be Zico Lewis taking the set pieces, who is away with Bermuda, playing today on international duty. Dante Marini with the in-swinger from the far side. Candela wide open, just a touch too high for him.
A better delivery there by Marini for sure.
Van Schaik sprays it back to where it came from. And easy for Neville Hackshaw. Iose breaks away out of the back. Passed along its way by Tyler Gibson. King looking for the direct. Dane Kelly on the run, and Mueller gets in the way of it, and that just goes wide of the target from Dane Kelly. Tell you what though, Derek, a hold your breath moment there. A collision between Mueller and Kuzminski, and Dane Kelly almost found himself with a goal against his former side. Yeah,
no, he did, and he really didn't take control there, did he, Kuzminski? And you know, Taylor Mueller's done the right thing. I think we're going for a drinks break now, and that could have been a real bad time to get a goal. But again, Nelson's let Dane Kelly run off him there again. I'm sure we'll see it one more time. But the miscommunication comes from Kuzminski. I think Taylor Mueller's expecting him to come and get it, and he didn't. And then that's when all the confusion. That's a fair play to Kelly. He just read it nice and well. Let the other two collide. Mueller did actually get his head on it. And that's an open goal. He really should score there, shouldn't he?
A stroke of luck for Mike Anhauser's side. Dane Kelly just slots it wide of the target.
You have to say the Battery got off one there. They definitely, you know, that should have been 1-0 to the visitors.
Everybody down below getting some fluid on board. Like we mentioned, kick-off 6 p.m, an hour and 30 minutes earlier than we usually see match time here in Charleston, South Carolina. 85 degrees at kickoff.
Even the referee's taking a nice hydration break there.
And also just gives a moment for either side to collect their thoughts together. You can see the shouts for Neville Hackshaw down below, an absolute fan favourite during his time at Charleston, and so many fans thrilled to see him back, even if it means in different colours.
Yeah, I think the fans at home shouldn't be fooled by the empty stands on the far side. You know, everyone, because the game's a lot earlier, a lot of people now are sitting in the stands right in front of us rather than getting baked in the sun on the far side. So there's a good crowd building here in front of us, and that will really help the players. I'm sure they all want to play in front of big crowds, and as I said, to the viewers at home, they probably don't see as many as we see in front of us now.
Joe Kuzminski ready to get us back underway in the 35th minute.
He'll be very relieved as to what happened earlier. Because as I said, he was definitely at fault there. He didn't take control, and his captain really bailed him out there.
A couple of players on the Charleston Battery side sporting the bleach blonde locks. That was from the USL Championship Fan Week, where the fans were able to vote on what colour the players should dye their hair. Gibson finds the feet of Iose, and again over the top for Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly cuts inside at the top of the box, and again wide of the post. Dane Kelly knocking at the door now.
And again, what he does so well is his movement. He finds spaces in between defenders. He can go either way, left or right, and that's a real good effort. It's wide of the post. I think Kuzminski had it covered, but 3 times now he's made some really intelligent runs. And I think one of the battery back 4 players is going to have to get a little bit tighter to him, because he's finding those gaps far too easily right now.
Dane Kelly, 6 goals on the season so far. 68 overall in his USL career. For Martin Rennie, though, he's got his leading goal scorer on the bench tonight, Tyler Pasha, who has 10 goals on the year so far. Lightning fast. And a bit of a change of personnel here tonight after a midweek game. Osmond. We met. And Walker. Starikov now. And Leland Archer, nice defending out the back.
Again, King, that's a cheap, you know, if you're Martin Rennie there, you'd be really annoyed with that. It's a cheap free kick to give away. He's got him, Archer's got his back to goal. He can't turn anywhere, and that's a real get out of jail card again for Leyland Archer, where he's got a nice cheap free kick. That's what infuriates coaches. You know, you tell players all the time, don't foul, just tuck them in.
Fans, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Charleston Battery, then click the follow button to keep up to date with the latest news and scores, and get reminders on the Battery's next home match. Go to ESPN.com and click follow for your club. Here's Marini into the box. Iose. Pereira back to Hackshaw. Gibson. Nicely worked by the visitors.
Look very composed in possession. You can see them, they're trying to pass it around, break lines, you know, into the midfield, and then try and break it again into the final third. They're very confident with the ball. They're knocking it around really nice, and as I said, this surface allows them to do that. Before they try and spring Kelly later on, you know, further up in the attack.
Tyler Gibson and Kenny Walker, the duo in the middle for Martin Rennie, both FC Cincinnati products.
To be fair, Starikov, he finds nice little pockets, doesn't he, just in front of that back four. He tries to link the game up.
Jared Van Schaik, the Battery veteran. His 4th season with the black and yellow. Svanteson. That's just what you were talking about a minute ago, Derek. Gives one away in the middle of the park. Starikov deep in the midfield, trying to generate an attack.
I'm sure the Battery won't be upset about seeing him doing that back in his own final third. You know, even, you know, around the back play, he'll do all his damage further up the field. I was just saying, he finds great little pockets. He's very hard to pick up. You know, should it be a midfield player? Should it be a defender?
King switches the flank. Pigott there. Injects into the midfield. Higashi back to Candela, the Colombian. Genzo Candela, just 24 years old, but already a wealth of playing experience under his belt after playing overseas for 5 years. The referee waves play on. Starikov. Yellow numbers fall behind.
I'm sure Starikov's trying to get a little bit frustrated. All his work is back towards his own goal. I'm sure he'll want to, you know, be turning and trying to find them little pockets for Kelly. And, you know, as I said, right now he's struggling to impact the game going forward.
About 5 minutes left of regulation to play from Daniel Island, Charleston, South Carolina. It's Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. I said earlier, it's been a very even matchup so far.
Yeah, it's been a good passing game. There's a great run by Starikov there.
Starikov, one-on-one. Kuzminski comes out, and the referee has blown his whistle. The decision will be a corner.
I think the referee's going to go and talk to the linesman there now, but it certainly looked like Kuzminski caught him. But he did get a save on it. He did get a save on it. So if he got his hands on it, then...
Well, you just said it. Starikov been all over the park trying to generate something. He had an opportunity there himself. Yeah. And it looks like a corner to come of it.
I think what Kuzminski's done well there, he's actually got his hands to the ball, so the referee's seen it, that it's a follow through, but he did actually get his hands on the ball, and that's what we have to focus on in those conditions. It's the ball. Here we go, Pigott one-on-one with Candela.
Romario Pigott pacing down the pitch. Kenny Walker, the only man to stand in his way. Romario Pigott opens the scoring, runs half the length of the pitch, and Mike Anhauser's side catching the 11 on the counter-attack, 1-0.
And from trying to get a penalty one end, Rennie will be fuming, and what happened there is that it's their own set play and Pigott gets it, but I'll tell you what, credit must go to Candela there because he made a great run. He was trying to pull the defender away. You'll see it now, look. Yeah, everyone's watching Pigott, but you watch Candela. He runs away, brings, you know, makes the defender make a decision, and that's a great strike with his left foot. That's a fantastic goal there by Romario Pigott.
Romario Pigott gets his 3rd goal of the season for the black and yellow. A brilliant run and a fantastic finish to top it off. And Mike Anhauser's side find themselves in front with 3 minutes to go before half-time.
You see the crowd in front of us saw it. I mean, we'll get a chance to see that again. I think you can't take away the role of Vincenzo Candela there. It's a great unselfish run he does for his team, and he allows Romario Pigott to go off onto his left side and make the shot. But fair play to Pigott, he took it on his weaker side, and it was a real great strike from just outside the box.
Indy 11, the best defensive team in the East, caught on the counter-attack. And now we've got a real game on our hands. Osmond all the way across to the captain, Neville Hackshaw.
All the battery players now will want to do is now they just want to get to half-time now, regroup, get their drink, get their fluids on board, and then start again.
Walker trying to redistribute out wide. Kuzminski was caught in 2 minds there, but finds the feet of Van Schaik. All the way over the top, Svantesson.
Although Indy will be really upset about conceding the goal, there's plenty of signs for them. They've had a few good chances. Kelly's had a couple. Should have scored one with an open goal. He's had the indecision there with the goalkeeper. So they'll still think they're in this game and have a chance of going forward.
Kenny Walker down now below. Shingard is off.
It's probably a muscle injury, either a calf or a hamstring injury.
Chance for everybody else to take some fluid once again.
This is more important now for the batteries players, just to keep their focus, get to half time, get in the change room, and then set their stall out for the second half.
Indy 11 on average have conceded less than 1 goal per game. Only 19 goals on the season have found the nylon so far against the visitors.
I think if you're Martin Rennie, as I said, you're screaming for a penalty. You then have a really poor set piece, and we did say earlier that they were put, you know, there was not been a real good set piece there, and then concede a goal from your own corner must be very, very, very disappointing. And I think Hackshaw now is talking to the referee. Let's see, he's saying that he actually saved the ball. I think that's when you see it again, you'll see that the goalkeeper actually, Kuzminski, got his fingers to the ball, and that's what he's saying. It's a follow through. It's not a foul. And I think the referee's correct.
Martin Rennie getting ready to make a substitution. You can see there Matt Watson, the Englishman from Redditch, getting ready to make his way onto the pitch for Kenny Walker, the 34-year-old veteran. University of Maryland product, spent the last 12 years playing in the USL, MLS and NASL. Had 31 appearances last season for Indy 11, and he'll pick it up in the middle of the park.
I don't think I'm doing my mic
Although the clock's gone past the 45-minute mark, I think we've got about, what, 3 minutes? Is that what's oh, 5? 5 minutes of overtime or extra time, and we'll see how this goes. And I said the battery players will just want to hear that whistle for half-time.
Dane Kelly trying to lay one off. Pereira done very well tonight so far to say it's his first start with his new team. Head coach Martin Rennie looks on down below. Captain Taylor Mueller over the dead ball, made his 200th appearance for the Charleston Battery in the last home match. Pumps one long into the attack, finds the feet of Dante Marini. He tried to get the shot away and just caught too much of the ball.
Yeah, I think he should have probably just tried to roll that ball across there. I think he was put under too much pressure, I think, by King.
Pressure on King. Matt Watson straight into the mix. Dane Kelly now. Nicely defended by Archer. Said all game, a fantastic matchup between those two.
Two big, strong, athletic players. You know, to be fair, right now, although Kelly's had a couple of chances, you've got to say Archer's done very, very well to keep him out.
Here they are once more. And Archer doing enough to earn his side a goal kick. Jokers Mensky, the Denver native, Colorado Rapids youth system product. Had 12 clean sheets in 24 appearances last season for the Battery, 4 on this season so far. Makes his 26th start here tonight. Free kick coming up in the middle of the park for Indy. Well, Derek, if you are Martin Rennie heading into the locker room, if the score stands down at the half, but several chances, what do you think his message to the team will be?
No, I think you won't see much difference. You'll see him playing. I think they've got to be a little bit more creative in the final third. I mean, Kelly's proved that if you get him the ball, he's dangerous. Stirikov's found some great little positions. And as I said, they will be enthused by the fact that there's been a bit of indecision in the Battery back four line. But if you might, and how's you know, you're saying that you've got your goal in front, you've got something to protect. And as I'm sure, you know, these Battery players have been well drilled, and as long as they keep their shape, you know, there's a good chance that they can get a really, really positive result.
Hackshaw with space, looking for the chip ball over for Watson. Doesn't come to fruition. But Pereira trying to come rolling through. Free kick coming up out the back for the Battery.
Yeah, Martin Rennie, as I said, he'd be very disappointed. One, he felt his team probably got a penalty, but to concede a goal from your own set piece is not good play, and he'll be very disappointed in that. It proves that he wasn't organised, and for all the young coaches, that's why it's important to get organised when you haven't got the ball. You know, leaving a 2v1 in your own half, you know, is very naive at this level, and as I said, that would be the most disappointing thing for him.
Flicked on by Svanteson, nobody on the end of it, and quickly taken. Evan Newton. Macaulay King putting in some miles already in the first 45.
Indy 11 have shown enough this half that they're still very much in this game, and that the Battery's going to have to continue to work hard if they're going to try and hold on to this result. So for all the neutrals out there, it's going to be a really good and entertaining second half. Matt
Watson. Falls back for Neville Hackshaw. Will stay with us at halftime. We'll take a look at the Battery's next upcoming matches, talk a bit about Hurricane Dorian. And up comes a dangerous free kick now for the visitors. Maybe the last kick of the first half. And you can just see the frustration of Taylor Mueller there. He knows how dangerous this could potentially be.
And he was saying, yeah, he certainly didn't touch him there. And I think, you know, normally you can tell by players' reactions how close they are, what they see.
Let's have a look at who will be over this. Of course, it's going to be Iose. And he is clinical over the dead ball from this distance. Joe Kuzminski busy organising his wall.
This is a big moment in the game now because there's a huge difference when you go in 1-up or 1-1 and change the whole momentum of the game. So Battery players in the wall have got to be big and brave, and Iose's got to see how creative he can possibly be from here.
The wall is set. Iose over the dead ball. And just wide of the target. Bounce back. Looked almost from this position. It found the back of the net, but that will be all we see from the first half at MUSC Health Stadium. The Battery head into the locker room, 1-0 up at the half. Derek, your thoughts on the first 45?
No, a very even game, separated by one really great piece of play by Romario Piggott. Great bit of individual play to score a goal running the whole length of the field. But as I said, there's enough signs there for Indy 11 to try and get something from this game. A little bit of indecision in the back line and a couple of chances, and, you know, unusual miss for Kelly, who missed an open goal. So, yeah, lots to look forward to in this second half.
45 minutes in the books, 45 minutes left to play. Join us at halftime. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedule, the player spotlight, and, of course, around the league for the USL Championship. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's Poppy Miller alongside Derek Brawley, and time now to take a look around the USL Championship in this week's Around the League presented by Home Telecom. And as always, Derek, we'll start with the USL Championship Team of the Week. Who stands out to you there?
I think for me it's always strikers, people that score goals and create goals, and Brett there from Pittsburgh, he scored 2 and had an assist against Ottawa, so he deservedly gets his spot on the front line of the Team of the Week.
Bradley Bourgeois for Nashville SC also recorded an assist in their game-winning performance against Tampa Bay Rowdies. A massive result for them. Well, let's have a quick look at the USL Championship Goal of the Week. It was an absolute stunning strike, and Derek, it doesn't get much better than that from Rodrigo da Costa.
No, I think whenever you see a bicycle kick or an overhead kick, depending on how you want to describe it, what really worries me is why these referees don't give it for dangerous play, but great athleticism and a great strike. Maybe
a contender for Goal of the Year, absolutely phenomenal. And don't forget to head to the USL website to vote on your August Goal of the Month. Well, that just about wraps things up in this week's Around the League.
Well, it was always a pleasure to go back and represent my country and see all those guys. I mean, they're childhood friends, essentially. We grew up with them, so I've been around for many years, so it's excited to see them always. There's been a lot of change coming from switching generations, really. So when I was coming up, a lot of those guys were kind of phasing out of the national team. To see a lot of us younger guys coming in, you could see they taught us a lot, they showed us a lot, and they've asked us to be better than them. And that's what we're trying to do moving forward. And to just coming in for the younger players is just wait your turn. You guys are young. There's going to be many opportunities for you to get your shot. And when you do get your shot, just be better than what we were. Our goal is, right now we made League A, which was something we were shooting for, although we kind of stretched our expectations for a lot of people. But that's what we want to do, is just stay in League A. Possibly, we're going to push to win the group. That's one thing we're always going to do, is we're always going to try to win. We're not just going to go out there just to try and contend. The same way as when the Gold Cup, when we went into the Gold Cup, we weren't going out there just to be participants. We wanted to go out there and win just like everybody else. My expectations with the team is that we stay in League A. We got where we want to be, and we want to stay with that. And for my own personal goals, I want to do everything I can to help the team. Whether that's scoring, defending a breakaway, assisting, whatever it is, I'll do it. Just as long as my team wins the game, similar to at my club. I want to do everything I can to help win the game. It's undescribable. No matter how many times you do it, it doesn't become any easier, whether it's a smaller nation or a bigger nation. It's the same thing, because when you put it on, it's everybody in our nation that was represented. It's not just myself, my family, which is what I do every single day. Is I want to make my family proud, I want to make myself proud, but I also want to make everybody who's supporting me proud. And to prove anybody who doubts that we can't accomplish something or that I can't accomplish something wrong.
On top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
The attempt at an amazing goal! Or maybe a Goal of the Year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa.
And here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been Indy 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Oberg there. Plua. Shot goal! Plua with the bicycle! Conrad Plua!
Dillon goes for goal. Oh, what a strike from Justin Dillon!
Now Gallardo for his brace tonight. Still Gallardo. A nutmeg of St. Phil. What a
Opportunity for Joe Gallardo. A brace. And it's 4 goals for the Richmond Kickers. Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on and it's in. What a strike. And Tormenta. Very patient. Here's Bermudez now back on his left foot. A curler for the top corner. Oh, what a goal. Bermudez. Run. Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Calvin Torre. This is the day that you walked in. Oh, something. Something's got it. Oh, my goodness. Lubin, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here between the Charleston Battery and Indy 11. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Well, Derek, it's been the topic all over the news as of late. Hurricane Dorian has now officially been and gone, but caused absolute havoc in the Low Country.
No, I mean, I was one of those few people that evacuated away, and no, it caused havoc here, but, you know, we also dodged the bullet in terms of the flooding, and, you know, the good news is that this game was put back 24 hours, but now it's already halfway through and we're good to go.
And our thoughts go to everybody affected by Hurricane Dorian, and especially the Bahamas in particular. Now let's turn our attention to the upcoming games for the Charleston Battery. A very heavy away schedule in this tough stretch with the playoffs on the horizon.
No, I mean, this is where all the disruptions that have taken place this year have a major impact. I mean, there's good things and bad things. The fact that you're playing a lot of away games, but for the players it's game Wednesday, Saturday, and gets them into a flow and could put them into a very good form, you know, if they're lucky enough to make it into the playoffs.
And like we mentioned, they have got games in hand over all of the teams above them in the Eastern Conference, but they're looking for points in the bag. As you can see there, the only home game out of all of those is on Sunday against North Carolina FC. Kickoff at 2 p.m. Time now to take a look at the player spotlight for this week. It's Kotaro Higashi, the Japanese veteran.
Yeah, he's a player really that his season's been a bit interrupted. He had a little bit of an injury at one point and he was in and out of the team. He's a player that really needs to be playing regularly. He's got great technique. He's a very speedy player. He's got loads and loads of energy. But as I said, his season really does need to get going. And he is one of these players that if his timing's right and he gets his form right just before the playoffs, could be a very influential player on the run-in. Like
you can see there, from Japan, actually paid his way to open trials for the Charleston Battery, impressed Mike Anhauser and signed with the club. It's a brilliant story.
No, it is, and you know, as you said, there's 17 appearances, only 1 goal, 4 assists, and the assist one is the one that's a little bit, you know, skew-whiff really, because he's one that he can create lots of goals. So hopefully he'll try and get that right. And as I said, if he hits form at the right time, he could be a very, very valuable player for the Battery heading into the playoffs.
Kotaro Higashi in the Charleston Battery player spotlight this week. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we'll have second half action from MUSC Health Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery taking on Indy 11, and it's up next. 11, it's Poppy Miller alongside Derek Brawley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match wherever you are. Well, we are just about ready to go for the second 45, but first let's take a look at the first half highlights, and of course the Battery leading, but several chances for either side, Derek.
Now this is the indecision that we spoke about, and Kelly probably really should have scored. Kuzminski and Mueller just really got tangled up there. It was very unlucky. Here's Kelly's second chance. We just cuts inside and bends it round. And then here's the sort of the moment of the first half, and then when you see it in slow motion, you'll see for sure Kuzminski gets a good hand on the ball. And then from there, this is where Piggott does great. He picks the ball up just outside his own half. As you see him running, though, look at Candela sprinting there, and he really impacts the defender. And then when Romaro Piggott decides he's going to go for it, he shoots right on the edge of the box, and that's a great strike with his left foot, and that goal's worthy to win any game. And you know, if you're a Battery fan, you hope that that's the case.
Romario Piggott turning on the Jets from inside his own half, and he is the difference so far. Ian Svanterson, the man to get us back underway. Sergei Jamanchuk, the man in the middle for tonight's game. Well, Derek, we spoke briefly before halftime about what Martin Rennie's halftime team talk would look like, but if you're Mike Anhauser, what do you think his message to the team was?
Well, I think, you know, he'll be very pleased. I think he'll want to tighten up the back four, the situation that he had, the little indecision there. He'll certainly want to do that. I think the Battery started off the first 15, 20 minutes by pressing. I'm not sure you can do that in this heat for the full game. But he'll want them to be neat and tidy. He'll want them to be very defensively sound, keep their shape. He'll want the back two of Mueller and Leyland Archer to really get hold of Kelly, and then, you know, play on the break a little bit. They've got their goal in front. They don't have to go for it. As long as they don't concede, they win the game. And as long as they're compact, they'll be fine. And I think his team's in this game.
Back underway, Neville Hackshaw, the former Charleston Battery player, to get us back underway. He rocks the captain's armband for tonight's game, just as much potent in the attack as he is in the back line. They get battling down this near side. And this would be an absolute massive result for Mike Anhauser's side if they can take 3 points tonight from what's been a very stop-start season for them. Flicked on by Higashi, Ian Svanterson, unable to turn on it from the pressure. Neville Hackshaw.
That was great play by Van Schaik there. He read it well, then he played in. He had a nice little link-up play. And Swanson just wasn't quite ready for that thing. You know, you've got to say good defending by Hackshaw there. He just got the wrong side and got in front. But again, a good promising start.
Just one change so far for Indy 11. No changes for Mike Anhauser. That one change, Matt Watson made his way into the midfield after Kenny Walker forced to exit the pitch with an injury. Svanterson lays it off for Van Schaik. Wants to take a positive touch. Marini looking to flick on for Higashi. Svanterson now. The ball falls through for Kotaro Higashi. It's Higashi. Can he get the strike away? He cannot. A brilliant build-up for the black and yellow. Correa leads on Dane Kelly. Kyle Nelson comes strolling through to the rescue.
Yeah, and he's on a yellow card, isn't he, Nelson? So he's got to make sure that every tackle that he does is sound, and that's the second one he's done since his booking, so that's good news for him. The earlier chance there, Higashi just took a little bit too long to get his shot off, and good defending by Hackshaw.
A couple of good chances for either side here. Could be one now for the substitute, Watson. And Leyland Archer straight to safety.
And Leyland Archer, when he actually puts his body in front, he's very, very difficult to knock off the ball. He defends very well for a big guy. He uses his all of his frame. And, you know, you've got to be very, very quick to get around him.
Leyland Archer, the Trinidad and Tobago international, 6'4". Gibson out wide for Iose. Nelson deflects. That'll be a corner for the visitors.
Jose's got great delivery, isn't he? He's good on the ball. He's very accomplished with the ball. Let's see what he does now with his set piece.
One of the most technically gifted players in the league, Iose. Into the mix, the head is there. And an absolute free header in the box, and the Battery get away with one.
That's the second one they've got away there. You know, it's not a good match up there. I think it was Angelo Kelly there. He's just trying to jump and put him off. And you have to say, from a defensive point of view, he's done very well just to get in front. But he got spun a little bit. He wasn't really looking at the ball. And that was a great chance.
The outside back we met in the attack. Candela for Kelly. Van Schaik joins in. On the far side. Looking to work one into the box. Ian Svanteson, can he get the strike away this time in the box? It takes a deflection. Romario Piggott going for 2. And just forced wide. An absolute chaotic moment in the box.
And that was great work by Swanson. He used his big frame. He turned. He just couldn't quite get the shot off. There he goes there. It does really, really well. Sticks his foot in. Bit of improvisation. Could have been handball there, but Piggott really's got to put his foot through that and score. I think the referee got another side that it could have been a handball there. I think if we could see that one more time, I think the referee would really challenge himself there.
Of course, no VAR in the USL Championship, but I think if we had, Derek, like you said, one might have been reviewed. Dante Marini, the Battery with a spring in their step since coming out the locker room.
Congratulations.
Shake goes down the line. Can Marini get to it in time? Yes, he can. Into the box it goes. Hackshaw heads on it first. Iose to help it out the back.
If you might, Anna, you'd be really pleased with the start your team's had here, but there's always that false sense of danger that if you have too much pressure. And Martin Rennie down below us now is really trying to get his team to get back into the game. It's been a very positive start from the Battery so far.
A brilliant chance for Mike Anhauser's side again. Romario Piggott, the one to almost find the back of the net for the second time tonight. Piggott, the Panamanian, to the top of the box. Marini, and this time Watson taking no chances. Physical presence, but brought down by Marini, who wins it back. Dante Marini at the edge of the box, takes a touch inside, looking for an option, takes another touch, and denied at the near post.
Unlucky by the little man there, wasn't it? Great technique just to get in, and he even was competent and confident enough to just to whip it back onto his stronger foot. The shot was blocked. I think if you're Martin Rennie, when your team does get good possession and you want to go forward, I think they just the pace of the ball that they're moving forward has just not been quick enough, and it's given the Battery plenty of time to get back into position and make it difficult for them.
Dane Kelly. Straight, direct ball down the middle, but forced out wide in the end. A bit of frustration from him. And the corner flag broke down there.
He does find those gaps very, very well. I think something's gone wrong to the corner flag. I think that's what the referee's going to see.
Let's have another look at this, Derek. This is what we're talking about. Svanteson does fantastically to chip it up.
And I think, some referees would see that again and give a handball, and, Piggott really does need to just put his foot through that. But I think if the referee got another look at that, I think if there was VAR, I think we could be looking at a penalty kick for the Battery over that one.
Joe Kuzminski to get us back underway out of the back. Looping ball to land just before the halfway line. Iose. Cuts back, looking at who he has. Falls for Matt Watson, who takes the strike. Well, Kuzminski went down and just a fraction off.
And that's the worrying moments for the Battery when that happens, because Watson's done brilliantly there. He's taken it away, he's gone one side. The Battery have all slid across. It's a good shot from outside the box, and that's not too far away. That's the danger of this Indy team. They've been under a bit of pressure, but when they do pounce, they've got Kelly, they've got Styrikov, they've got Watson now that can all take advantage of any little gaps that they find in front of that back four.
Watson with 1 goal on the season so far, falls through Hackshaw. This time it's Higashi with the press, and Newton Again, a questionable one out of the back.
He wants to play out from the back all the time, doesn't he? And I think sometimes when you're doing that, you're gonna have a few wayward passes. But as I said, everyone on this Indy team look like they're very confident in the ball.
Starikov out wide. Iose looking to cut in at the top of the box. A dink ball across to the back post. Dane Kelly's there and over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he'll be very disappointed with that. And I think Nelson there's been caught. He's run in, he's run out. Kelly's done great. He's peeled off to the back post. It's a great, he gets right above it. Look, here we go. There's Nelson recovering. It's a great ball. Kuzminski does well to get back, but that really does need to go back across goal to the far post. But again, it's another worrying sign for the Battery that this Indy team can find those little pockets, those little spaces, and you know, if they keep knocking on the door, they're going to come through at one stage.
You can see Taylor Mueller there just having a word with his back line. You cannot leave Dane Kelly unmarked at the back post. Actually looking for the flick on.
It's a mismatch in size, him and Hackshaw, isn't it? There's only going to be one winner there when they're chasing the ball.
And the veteran in the middle, really been pulling the strings since he made his way on just before the stroke of half time.
Yeah, when he came on, it was right at the end of the half, but now he's played his way in. I'm sure he'll be looking forward to playing in this second half.
Actually a familiar face for head coach Martin Rennie. He's played with him, under him at Vancouver Whitecaps and North Carolina FC.
Sometimes in these leagues you see that certain players follow coaches around, and you know, they're very trustworthy and they stick by them, which is obviously the case in that with Rennie and Watson.
Higashi for Kelly into Piggott. Touch forced back, and this time in favour of the Japanese veteran.
Could see what he wanted there. You know, from our point of view, you could see it was a great ball by Van Schaik, and Swanson just really didn't make the run.
Nelson straight in, and this could be trouble for Kyle Nelson, the rookie. Sergei Jamanchuk has a decision to make down below us. Kyle Nelson, of course, is already on a yellow card, and this could be disastrous for the Charleston Battery, and he is going to be shown red, and the Battery down to 10 men.
And the referee's given him a straight red there. So what he's not giving him a second yellow, he's giving him a straight red. I think that's what the Battery players are looking. I think the noise made it sound worse.
You can see Svantisson there, just having a polite word with him. And Kyle Nelson, well, Derek, we've been mentioning he needs to be careful since he picked up the yellow in the early going.
Both players had their feet up there. I think if the referee was to see that again, and maybe this is one of them cases where you say that the VAR system can help sort things out, but I think the referee hasn't really given himself time there to think. And now there's another twist to this game, isn't it now, because the Battery players now, they're going to have to, you know, really the shape's not going to change too much. Where it was 4-4-2, now it'll be 4-4-1-1. Let's have one more look at it. Both players' feet are off the ground, look. And if anything, you could argue that Nelson was there just protecting himself.
The replay being shown in the stadium, that's why you can hear the booing from the fans down below. Very deceiving, like Derek mentioned. Down below us, hundreds of fans on the other side. Not too many who are trying to avoid the sun. And now Sergei Jamanchuk just having a word with Mike Anhauser down below. And you can understand why Mike Anhauser's upset there, Derek.
No, I think that if we even heard it on the camera. You could hear the noise. There's no point in talking about other decisions. I think you've got to focus on this decision. I think both players had their feet off the ground. Both were showing their studs. The noise of the boots clashing obviously made it sound worse. And then the referee, as I said, if the player was injured, look, it's gone on and moved on. But who would be a referee? I mean, that's a very hard decision. It's one of those situations. And as I said, the referee's gone over talking to the captain. But now we can't reverse that decision, so now we've got to get on with it. And then said the battery players now, it's going to be a straight 4-4-1. And now they're going to have to work very hard. And they've got something to hold on to in this game. They've done very well. They've got a goal up. Now they've just got to show their discipline.
It's been very positive from the Charleston Battery, who have had a very stop-start season. And like we mentioned, a win tonight would be brilliant for Mike Anhauser. On the other hand, Martin Rennie, of course, with his sights set on first place in the Eastern Conference. And now the black and yellow down to 10 men for the remainder of tonight's match.
And it's going to be a long 30 minutes for the, the 10 battery players out there, but I'm sure they're up for the task. They've had a couple of weeks to recuperate, a couple of weeks to rest. Now every decision that the referee makes now is going to be met with, negativity from the crowd, as you can hear it on the screen. Now there's a big crowd here now.
Ian Swanterson having a talking to there. Let's have a look at this, Derek.
Yeah, I think what he's got, that's a foul. He's put his arms around him. He's got the wrong side. But what the referee's doing now, he's doing well now. He's actually telling us to calm down. Don't get frustrated from the previous decision. Let's get on, play the game. It's good for Swanson. It takes a few seconds off the clock.
Neville Hackshaw goes short. All the way through the back for the visitors.
I think sometimes when you get a red card, you've got to feel sorry for the crowd, because now the game becomes uneven. Now the battery have no option now but just to sit out and defend. They've got something to hold on to. They've got to play on the break. So, it's not great for fans to watch it.
Candela wins back the possession. Brilliantly done by the midfield.
Angelo Kelly will just slot back into that right back spot, wasn't he? He'll go in there. Higashi will just drop into midfield. And Zed, there's no real change. You're just going to have to play a little bit more on the break. And Swanson's going to have to really work hard now to use his big frame just to hold up the ball. He won't be flicking and turning. He'll just be trying to secure the ball like he's done there. Fantastic play by the big fella.
Higashi can't keep hold of it in the middle of the park. Watson and Gibson combine in the middle.
And Kelly's played a few games at right back already this season, so it won't be so bad for him. He's a very flexible player.
A very veteran back line with Van Schaik and Taylor Mueller. Here comes an attack from Indy. Big ball across the box. Iose with the follow-up. Pereira into Gibson. Battery pinning Indy back.
The worrying thing for the battery will be the length of time that this goes on. And now what they're going to have to do is lose all their game management to slow the game down. It's not a case of time wasting. They've just got to manage the game. They've got to make sure that they don't overplay too quickly. Right now, maybe Joe Kuzminski comes and takes this. That's it. Work the clock. Do the game management thing. And this is, again, I work with young players. This is not cheating. This is game management. There's a big difference. And what they've got to try and do is wind down the clock. And it's very hard for the opposition team then if you're slowing the game down to do that. Mike Anhauser just getting involved with Angelo Kelly. He's got that attacking youthfulness, and he just wants him to sit in and keep his shape.
Svanterson flicks on. Still Svanterson. Swedish native, grew up in Florida. Prior to the battery was with Tulsa Roughnecks. Here's Dane Kelly. One-on-one with Archer. Archer shielding back to Kuzminski. Good defending from the home side.
Again, every little decision now is going to be met with a referee. Again, we talk about Dane Kelly dive in there. That was a little thing there. But as I said, great defending again by Leland Archer. Got his body across. He's done that brilliantly all night tonight.
Kuzminski direct ball looking for the target striker. Falls for Piggott. Piggott trying to keep the possession. And Mueller steps in. Neville Hackshaw, 110% through the challenge.
And the battery, it's not so difficult, is it? They can play up to Ian Swanson. They can get, Dante Marini, Romario Piggott just working off him. He can flick balls on, he can secure balls with his feet. He's got to do a better job there in of getting to the ball.
Piggott tries to take a touch inside. White shirts outnumber him. Starikov turns on the Jets in the midfield. Out wide to Iose. Dane Kelly looming in the box, but goes to Starikov at the top of the box. But Sergei Jamanchuk waves play on, and Kuzminski will take his time to collect.
And again, great defender. I've said it a few times tonight. You know, Archer's done brilliant there again. He's just again used his big frame, put his foot in. Kelly looks a little bit frustrated right now. You've got to watch him because he's got a goal in him and every time he plays. But you know, up until now, you have to say Leyland Archer's done fantastically well to keep him at bay.
Like we mentioned, Martin Rennie with his leading goal scorer still sat on the bench. Tyler Pasha, who has 10 goals on the season so far. Seen a rotation to the lineup for him for tonight's game after their midweek win against New York Red Bulls 2. Points count the same.
Martin Rennie will still know there's 25 minutes left in this game. He knows there's going to be a couple of chances. It wouldn't surprise me if Pasha comes on at some point. But as I said, he'll probably have a couple. He's got a couple more substitutes to try and change this game.
Iose with the delivery away in the box by Mueller. Candela works it out the back. Svanteson. Just a frustrating one on the near side as it falls out. Hackshaw. Iose into Watson, a dink ball into the box, and I think Pereira couldn't believe it fell for him there.
Kuzminski, he'll be glad to see that one just roll into his arms as well. So
looks like Martin Rennie getting ready to make a substitution. Gabriel Rodriguez with his shirt on, ready to enter the match. Svanteson. Tired legs starting to creep in for several of these players. Like we mentioned, we saw a hydration break in the first half. Very hot and humid conditions. Dane Kelly now! And Kuzminski reads it well off his line.
But again, he found that little gap, didn't he, Dane Kelly? I mean, if he'd have been a little bit quicker and that ball had been a little bit lighter, he'd have been in. He found that gap again. And he's done that all evening. And I'm sure the Battery players don't actually get nice and tight to him. They, you know, something will come of that.
Kelly just lightning fast. Marini. Across the box, flicked on. Corley King can't keep it in on the far side. This might bring up an opportunity for the second substitution of the night. Rodriguez, the man to make his way into the match. And out comes Pereira, who made his first start tonight for Indy 11 and has put in a solid shift, Derek.
No, he looks like he's a good acquisition, doesn't he? So, you know, he'll have plenty more games for this team, and I'm sure he'll make a big impact. Another positive substitution by Rennie.
Just over 20 minutes left to play here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's Poppy Miller alongside Derek Brawley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are.
It's like a chess game now, isn't it? With a red card now, it's, you know, one team's trying to hold on to something, the other team's trying to, you know, crack the code and try and break the battery down.
Rodriguez straight into the mix, dispossessed by the captain Mueller. Tries to redeem himself, chasing down in the middle of the park. And Svanteson brought to ground once again. And Jamanchuk will give it to him. And first, he will have a word with the captain, Taylor Mueller, who he's giving his very final warning to before going in the books.
I think what he's telling him is now to tell your players just to stop it. think it's Jared Van Schaik's the guilty one there. And I think that's what happens when teams feel they've had a hard done by decision. They just keep on and on and on and on. But you know, really now they need all their energy and conserve it into like making sure they can solidify this result, keep the game in front of them, and stop the other team from getting something from this game. And I think that's what the Battery players now need to do. They need to refocus.
Vincenzo Canzella and Jared Van Schaik both over the dead ball.
Right now, Higashi needs to get back. It's a 2v2.
Into the mix. Jose at the edge of the box, falls for Piggott, Romario Piggott. It's a dangerous one, and Evan Newton looked like he got a fingertip to it, but it falls just wide.
Another great effort by Piggott there, wasn't it? He saw his opportunity, put his foot through the ball, and it was a great strike. Looked like a save from our angle, didn't it?
Let's have another look at this, Derek. A brilliant ball in.
It comes back to him, yeah. Just falls back for Piggott. He gets up, head down. It's a good strike, and the goalkeeper didn't get a touch.
Jose now. Been very back and forth in the late going. Gibson. Australian centre back Osman getting involved.
It's good play by the Battery. They've got good shape. They've got good numbers behind the ball. They've just got to do their marking in the middle.
Jose dangerous with the delivery. Might have a chance to put one in to the back post here. King puts it into the recycler. And all the way to safety, Leland Archer.
Leland Archer's put himself in some great positions tonight, done very, very well.
If you're just joining us, the Charleston Battery playing with 10 men. It was Kyle Nelson who was shown red. At the minute, just happy to be sat bunkered in. Martin Rennie dishing some instruction to his side down below us.
Yeah. At 30 minutes, I'm sure he'll be thinking we've got plenty of time to game. As the clock winds down, he'll be getting more and more frustrated with his team. You know, with that extra man, you'd think they'd be moving the ball a lot quicker, trying to pull the Battery from side to side, then finding them little channels. And to date, right now, the Battery is saying, you know, they seem quite comfortable. They all sort of know their roles and responsibilities.
Of course, like we mentioned, Indy 11 played midweek against New York Red Bulls 2 and handed them their only third shutout of the season after taking the 1-0 win from Lucas Oil Stadium. Piggott finds Van Schaik on the flank. Really forced back to keep the possession.
I think sometimes when your team's down to 10 men, the longer you can have the ball and draw some little niggly free kicks and make the game more of a stop-start for the opposition, it's in your interest. I think that's what Dante Marini done and Piggott's done. They've got good players that can actually hold on to the ball, and you know, they don't have to just pass them out of it. They can keep it nice and tight, stay on the ball, don't give it away. When you've got the ball, you don't have to work so hard.
Van Schaik on the chase back to Archer. And again, you can just see maybe a case of tiredness setting in for the Battery, who are down a player. Watson. Out wide, we met. King ground ball to the box, Starikov there. Van Schaik tries to work it out the back.
And again, the crowd are getting a bit frustrated. That's about the second time Starikov's gone down, hasn't he? And he's just, you know, I think he's holding his face. He might have just caught a stray arm or something, and the referee's gone over to talk to the linesman.
Well, fans, while we have a minute, don't forget to tune in to ESPN3 on September 11th for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the lights in an action-packed Western Conference showdown. You can see it all on September 11th during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. And what a season Phoenix Rising are having so far this year, 17 unbeaten. And most of them happening on Dollar Beer Night, which has become quite the story in the USL Championship. Looking to keep that run going against Eric Wynalda's Las Vegas Lights. Higashi. For Marini. Svantas in there, but couldn't connect.
That's better play from the back, though. They're trying to keep possession by running with the ball and staying with it. And they've got Higashi, they've got Marini that can all do it. Pigott, they're all good on the ball with the ball. So not a bad tactic to employ.
Maybe now time for some fresh legs from Mike Anhausen. Nico Rittmeyer getting ready to come in for the final 15 minutes of tonight. And it's Romario Pigott to make his way out. And Romario Pigott really been the star of the show for the home side.
No, I mean, the goal was it was a fantastic individual piece of skill that he done. And, you know, Nico Rittmeyer, whatever he does, he brings an energy, doesn't he, to the team. And I'm sure they'll really be enjoying it. He's got good pace, strength. And that's a good substitution at this stage of the game, I think, for the Battery.
Nico Rittmeyer in his third season with the Battery. It's his 23rd appearance here tonight. 1 assist on the season so far. The local College of Charleston product. Richard dominating in the box once again. Osman for Iose. A touch inside, the delivery is there, and there is the header, fingertip save from Kuzminski.
And that's a great save by Joe Kuzminski. He's at full stretch with his left arm, and he just, not only does he get his hand to it, he parries it round the corner, but great header. Here we go again, look. He's done that all game, isn't he? Styrikov, he's got in between players, found little gaps, but that's a great save by Joe Kuzminski. Certainly atones for his indecision in the first half with that one.
Maybe a contender for save of the week, that, and here comes a corner kick flicked on this time. Styrikov can't get the redirection on it. And here comes another substitution for Martin Rennie. On comes Navoa. It will be Dane Kelly to make his way off. Like for like substitution there.
Dane Kelly, you know, he's had one of those strikers' nights where things haven't just quite gone for him. You know, he had that good chance in the first half that just went, you know, it was almost like an open goal that he just ran to the side. He had his header that he probably could have got. So it's not been his night tonight. I'm sure he'll have plenty more in his time. Martin Rennie's gone to his bench to see now if he can find someone else that can exploit the Battery's little indeficiencies in defence.
Straight into the mix, the substitute. To the box, battling Candelas there, lays it off, and the strike couldn't quite get over that one.
It was Watson there, wasn't it? Watson. Again, he's had a couple of strikes from outside the box, but again, the Battery, if you're getting teams to shoot from outside your box, that shows you've got good defensive shape, and they've kept them at bay for a long period. And now we come to that like final sort of 10-15 minutes of the game with, you know, with a bit of overtime, that now it's going to be, you know, really starting to get desperate for Indy, and the Battery now are really going to have to use their game management skills to try and keep the Indy team at bay.
Rennie now used all 3 substitutions. This is the lineup he will finish tonight's game with. Christian Navoa, the substitute on the far side. In comes the delivery, the head there, and Kuzminski rises to the occasion once again. And it's been a stellar night so far for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but again, Styrikov's found that little gap again. It's a free header in between 2 players, so it is worrying. Again, it's a great header. Look, he just finds his gap in between. It's a nice, comfortable height for Kuzminski that time around. But again, good play again by Styrikov. And it will become more and more desperate for this Battery team. You know, they are going to get tired. They've been playing with 10 men now for about 15, 20 minutes. They're coming to that last 10, and that last 10 is going to feel like half an hour.
Here comes the centre back. Mitch Osmond out wide. Iose been busy down this flank. Watson, this time with the delivery. It's a dangerous one. Nobody could get on the end of it. And King just a touch. But Kuzminski there once again. 10 minutes left to play here now at MUSC Health Stadium, and Indy 11 generating several chances as of late.
No, they're starting to use their extra man to, you know, to really put this Battery team under pressure. And as I said, the Battery just keep giving it away cheaply. They've only got one real option right now, and that's to go long to Swanson. If they can get the ball like they've done now with Marini, they can stay on it a little bit now. They've got to keep the ball, pass their way or run their way out of trouble, and not give it away cheaply.
Swanson offside, hanging on those last couple of defenders though. And Osmond eager to get his side back underway. Gibson.
And this is where the Battery have got to do really well just to get back into shape. Coaches talk about it all the time, shape. The quicker you can get back into shape, the better you've got. Now they've got this thing, now they've got to try and keep hold of it. There's one option. Can Ian Swanson hold up? He needs to do a better job there of just securing the ball and bring his other teammates back into play.
So Mike Anhouse is getting ready for another substitution. O'Brien Woodbine putting on his jersey. Iose once again the delivery to the back post. And Shake the first to get ahead on it. And up comes a corner kick.
That's always awkward for a defender when you're facing your own goal. That ball comes in, but he's done brilliant there just to get it up and over the bar. It's a good defending there by Van Shake.
The delivery is coming thick and fast from Iose. And Ian Swanson will end his night there. Just under 10 minutes to go. O'Brien Woodbine, the Jamaican veteran, to come on and hopefully for Mike Anhauser secure this game.
That's always an awkward one to make a substitution on a corner kick. I think he's having to do it just because Ian looks like he's limping a little bit there. But you know, it's always dangerous. It always, you know, disrupts you a little bit. You've got to make sure your markers are all tight. And hopefully the referee will give O'Brien Woodbine a chance to get in and get into his defensive shape.
A good substitution for Mike Anhauser. O'Brien Woodbine, a very defensively minded midfielder. It looks like he'll take on some hydration for his teammates.
I think that's for the goalkeeper.
Taylor Mueller just giving him some direction as soon as he enters the pitch.
And he's a good veteran to come on at this stage, isn't he? He's done this 1,000 times.
Iose into the mix, Van Shake the first there, and the bicycle kick from Nico Rittmeyer gets the applause from the crowd.
And I spoke about that, didn't I? You know, earlier on in one of the other shows that we talked about the bicycle kick. Always gets a cheer, doesn't matter where it happens on the field.
The Battery being peppered with shots as of late, but it's Kuzminski the first of the races once again. 8 minutes left to play here. The Battery, it will feel a lot longer. Let's have another look at this, Derek.
Yeah, it's a great take by Kuzminski, and he just secures the ball nice and neatly on the floor.
Rittmeyer actually played himself on then. I don't think he could quite believe it. Newton. His line. Watson.
What I've been impressed with Indy 11 is that they haven't just thrown the ball forward. They've still tried to keep playing their way. They've created chances, haven't they? You know, they're knocking on the door. They just need a bit of quality in and around the final third to see if they can get that goal, get that important goal.
Candela for Marini. Not many black and yellow shirts around him, but he'll try and find Kotaro Higashi. He holds up. Rittmeyer's there. Nico Rittmeyer at the top of the box. Maybe a heavy touch from him. Does enough to keep it in. But the linesman disagrees, and that'll be a goal kick.
There's quite a few tired legs now on this Battery team. They've just got to get Higashi there, just getting back in. Nico Rittmeyer, he's a fit lad. He'll get back in nice and quickly. Angelo Kelly, Candela, they're probably the fittest boys on the team. And they're going to need all that energy now to get them over the line for this last 6-7 minutes.
An organised back four now for Mike Anhauser. Angelo Kelly slotting in for Kyle Nelson, who was shown a red card. Jose once again. This time we'll lay it off for Hackshaw. Across the park.
And what he's done with Woodbine is he's sacrificed a striker with Swanson and just put another little holding midfield player in there.
Into the mix, a touch is there. Nothing to come to fruition.
So now what the Battery have done is they've got O'Brien, Woodbine just sitting in front of the back four. They've got Kataro just really at the top of a diamond, really in midfield, and they're just trying to put bodies in front of this wall of Indy 11 that's, you know, trying to get this all-important goal.
Maybe time for one more substitution from Mike Anhauser. Arthur Boschua, the South African.
I'm sure it'll be Kataro coming off.
Putting on his jersey down below.
Kataro Higashi, look, he's run his socks off.
Every player tonight has covered a lot of ground for both teams. It's been a very active game. King into the middle of the park. Higashi for Marini. See there, Higashi just holding up on his run. Indy 11 is still eager on the attack. A bit of trickery there in the middle. Iose once again to the back post, nobody home. Iose absolutely setting his teammates up on a platter, but nobody can capitalise.
You can see the frustration now. Martin ready now. Yeah, he sadly wants it quicker. He wants it put into the box a lot sooner than it was.
You're absolutely right, Derek. Kataro Higashi making his way off. Arthur Boschua, the man to make his way on. He will be the hold-up striker for the remaining couple of minutes of tonight's game.
You can just see from his body language, he's run himself into the ground, isn't he, Higashi? So he's done brilliant. And, you know, Boschua can certainly come on and give 5 minutes. He's a big, strong boy.
Boschua, in his first season with the black and yellow, came through the open trials. The Columbia University product. Was the Ivy League two-time Offensive Player of the Year. Born in South Africa but grew up in New York.
I don't know if I've ever told you, Poppy was in my group. He was
Did you scout him, Derek?
Yeah, he was in my group.
I'll give you all the credit.
So he was in my group. Yeah, I'll take credit for that one. So no, he's done very well and he's had a good season. This is good game management by the Battery. They're under a little bit of pressure now. They're just trying to get their throw-ins. They're trying to get their free kicks. They're not just giving possession away cheaply now. And you can see a little bit of frustration in some of these Indy players.
Still time on the clock for Indy 11. Candela launches one up. Boschua is there. Takes the deflection. And it looks like took one off Arthur Boschua. Mike Anhauser and Martin Rennie both up off the benches down below us. And now biting 3 minutes for the home side. Iose cuts inside this time. Gibson. Ball into Watson, who sprays it out wide. King onside. Everybody back to defend for Mike Anhauser's side.
It's been like that for about 30 minutes.
Hackshaw with the delivery. The head is there, and Leland Archer once again the man to stand in their way.
And he's done fantastically well, Archer, tonight, hasn't he? He's been an absolute rock back there. There's been some great performances though tonight. I think Candela's been excellent. Again, you know, I don't think you can take away his part in the goal. Romario Piggott, you know, he's done fantastically well with his goal. He had another chance. Angelo Kelly showed his versatility, isn't he? Coming in, playing that right back for the last 10 minutes and done it really, really well. He shut down, you know, many attacks from that position. So,
talking of good performances, Derek, time now to present the Heineken Man of the Match for tonight's game. And who does it go to?
Well, as I said, I'm trying to, you know, there's definitely some great performances. I'm I want to say Mario Piggott for the goal, but Candella's, you know, stayed on there the whole time, and I said his part in the goal was fantastic. Leyland Archer's done really well, so I'm going to hang on another minute just to see how this game goes, and then I'll share my my pick.
The suspense is killing us all. Iose. Mueller away. Falls to the top of the box, the strike is there. Candela with the pressure. And safety first out of the back. May have took something in the clearance. And it looks like it'll be a free kick for the Battery. We're just getting news that AJ Patterson has scored for Granada. It is 1-1 Granada and Belize at the minute. Congrats to AJ Patterson, who is obviously unavailable tonight for the Battery, representing his country.
It's always nice to see one of your players away on international duty, and when they get a goal as well, that's even more pleasing. So we're now waiting just to see what the fourth official is going to give.
Minsky, of course, will be in no rush to get us back underway as the clock winds down.
It's going to be foul.
I think now it'll just be a case of just get it forward, get it out of danger. We've got 5 minutes, which is probably a little bit more than the Battery players would have wanted. As I said, when you've got something to hold on for, it's so much easier. You get that extra spring in your step.
And if there's any team that can finish strong, it's Indy 11, who have won 7 games this season in the 80th or above minute.
And that's a great stat, isn't it? If you're Martin Rennie, you know that your team's never finished. They keep going and going and going. As in, with that 5 minutes now, they're still not out of this game.
Iose again opting to cut in this time. Ground ball is there. Miscommunication. Nothing to come of it.
Taylor Mueller there is just giving a roast into Nico Rittmar, saying, you know, you don't need to be chasing it up the front. You need to be sat in and tucked in behind us and help us out. I think if Romario Piggott, if the Battery are to win this game, I think we definitely need to give him the man of the match. But as I said, if not, I think Candella's been fantastic. I think if I could give 2, that would be my 2 picks tonight, with Archer coming a very close second.
Woodbine in the mix. And a foot to the face there. That one looked very painful. Tyler Gibson down on the ground in a collision with O'Brien Woodbine.
Yeah, he was back to goal there. I think he's going to give him the yellow card just because he's given it to him, but and he'll take that at this stage of the game. It was a dangerous wild kick, but as I said, his eyes were on the ball, it wasn't on the player. If he'd said it was a bicycle kick, he might not have got it.
Tyler Gibson furious there. Time is of the essence now. Everybody in the attack. Neville Hackshaw whips one into the box. Kosminski catching practice for the goalkeeper.
So I'm going to go out on a limb now, and I'm going to give it to.
Roll, please.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Romario Piggott for the goal, because it was a great. I think it was a goal that I'll be very surprised if it doesn't go in as a contender for goal of the week. And as I said, so I'm going to give that, because if it does win this game, I think it's valuable. But I've got to say that Candela and Archer have been 2 outstanding performers tonight for the Battery, for sure.
Joshua does well in the attack. Marini tries to help him, but they're dispossessed in the combination with each other. And Sergei Jamanchuk will make them drop it back a couple of yards.
Now it's getting desperate time, isn't it? They've had 30-odd minutes to play with this 10 men. They still haven't worked it out yet. Now they're really going to have to find something and dig deep now, Indy.
Iose, so dangerous all night, whipping balls in. Maybe now Neville Hackshaw's turn against his former club. Again, a scramble in the box. Woodbine can't clear it with Kelly. Iose now to the back post once more. Marini takes an awkward deflection, and up comes a corner kick. The Battery fans on their edge of their seats.
Mike Anhauser is screaming at me. Brian Woodbine should have probably cleared it, and then Kelly didn't clear it, and now they put themselves under pressure. There's a little bit of cramp going on, a little bit of gamesmanship. But this really could be the last effort now, and I'm sure they're going to throw everything. I'm surprised the goalie's not up there as well. It's a real desperate time now for Indy, and it's played short.
Iose gets the return into the box. It's dangerous. It's Hackshaw. Of course it's Hackshaw. Absolute kaleidoscope of chaos in the box. And it falls somehow in the hands of Joe Kuzminski. And now, Derek, this is something you don't want to see. Neville Hackshaw, brilliant friends with these players off the pitch. But tensions are rising down below us.
Yeah, I think that's just frustration on his part, and he's come back to his old club. He wants to do well. They're playing with 10 men. The referee's done well there. Let's see what he does from here. They're all friends afterwards, aren't they? They'll shake hands afterwards and go, but it all started off. Yeah.
Sergio Jamanchuk with a couple of decisions to make down below. Rodriguez shown mustard.
And if he says it's a stamp, I'm surprised he's just given a yellow. The great thing for the battery is that's definitely killed off a bit of time.
Have another look, Derek.
Yeah, it's more for the stamp here on, is it Kuzminski? Yeah, he tries to stamp on his foot, yeah, that's what it's all about. Probably does deserve a yellow, but all the afters and all that's done is really taking the clock down. I'm sure Rennie will be very frustrated with that.
Any minute now could potentially be the last kick of the game. Sergio Jamanchuk checking his watch down below. Indy 11 still with fuel in the tank. And Jared Van Schaik sends that one to safety. That will be all we see from this brilliant Sunday night football. The Charleston Battery 1, Indy 11 nil. Derek Broadley, your thoughts on the final performance?
I think you have to say, you know, it's a great, if you're a battery, you'll be very pleased playing with 10 men. It's a great win for them in a very difficult time. I think if you're Martin Rennie, you'd be very, very frustrated with how the night's gone. As I said, as a team effort, you know, the battery have done very well. There's, you know, every player's given their all tonight, even the substitutes. And, you know, it was a, you know, we forget about the goal. It was a great goal that really was worthy of winning any game. So I think if you're Mike Anhauser, you're really pleased. I think if you're Martin Rennie, you're very frustrated. But you can see they're a top team, and they're going to go very close in this division, I think, going forward. And, you know, I'm sure they'll be very well in the playoffs.
The Charleston Battery take a step closer to the playoff race. Well, there's been so many chances to unfold. Let's start from the very beginning with tonight's highlights. What a match it's been, Derek. No,
and it started off, as I said, you know, this was it, a little bit of indecision between Mueller and Kuzminski. And Kelly nearly gets in that he really should have scored. I think if he had that 9 times out of 10, he would score. Then he gets a second chance. Oh no, this is the penalty, well, what everyone thought was a penalty, but it became a set piece for Indy. And this is where Pigger, and this is what I'm saying about the goal. If this is a goal that wins the game, it's great play, but people need to see Candela. Look at him running and influencing the defender there. But once he makes up his mind to go, he goes, and that's a great strike from outside the box. And that is worthy of winning any game. And that's why I gave him the man of the match. If it was going to win the game, he needed to get it. So, no, and then there was a lot of half chances, wasn't there? There's this header there that should have been a goal there. You have a little chance, I think Kelly had another header there. And then Styrikov got involved in. He had 2 very good headers. There's one, he got another one. Here's his second one here where he just gets in between people, and Kuzminski makes a great save. So, you know, all in all, I think if you're the battery, you're very pleased with the result, and if you're Martin Rennie, you're very frustrated.
Great to see Neville Hackshaw greeting some of his old teammates and coaching staff down below us, as is Dane Kelly. But on behalf of Poppy Miller, Derek Broadley, that just about wraps things up from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you for joining us for what's been a thrilling match. We'll see you next time.
Of the United Soccer League Championship.